98FM. The sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks. Weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.
Today, obviously, this country is still feeling the shockwaves of the Jastine Valdez tragedy. People are trying to come to terms with exactly what happened and how it happened, and how and why a man like Mark Hennessy did what he did. An article in the Star newspaper today by Maura Hannon said, Ireland is not safe for women. She says Ireland doesn't feel like a safe place for women and girls right now. Now that statement may sound like scaremongering, but are we living in scary times? If a carefree young woman can be snatched in broad daylight while walking along a road, then nowhere feels safe. Now, this is an opinion that has been shared by Erica, who sent us this message on our Facebook page last night. She says that the Jastine Valdez case has really changed her outlook on life, and she now feels completely unsafe. I want you to have a very close listen to her message. Is she overreacting, or is she right to suggest that women are not safe walking alone in this country? Erica wrote, I don't feel safe anymore. I always used to bring my dogs out for their last walk of the day at 10 p.m. I live in Dunleary. I used to love looking at the stars and the moon, but I can no longer do that now. I just don't feel safe. It's sad that my country has become like this, but I'm now convinced that there are many more men like him out there who want to inflict pain and worse on women. I am not willing to take the chance anymore. And that's from a lady called Erica. And I would love to hear from you on this on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. I would love to hear from you on this. Is this complete overreaction? Or can you understand why somebody like Erica, following that, and like we said, I mean, what happened in this case where this young woman was literally bundled into a car, randomly walking along the road, would make you think that this just isn't a safe place anymore. Others will argue that this is such a rare occurrence that, you shouldn't change your habits. You shouldn't change your lifestyle. You shouldn't change where you go and when you go just because of one person, just because of one act. Our phone number is 6797 981. Frank, you're on 98FM. How are you, Frank?
Morning, Adrian. How are you?
Good morning, Frank. How are you?
Oh, still getting over the shock of what happened to that poor girl.
Aren't we all? I have to.
And it's society, as I said to you weeks ago, Adrian, there's a massive, massive breakdown in law and order in this country. And it's just getting out of hand. And I'll tell you, Adrian, I know I hark back to it regular, but I'm going to just explain something to you. A man of few going back less than 20 years, actually, less than 20 years, was convicted in this country of attacking a girl, kidnapping her, raping her, putting a bag over her face to kill her, had a hole dug to bury her, and only for the grace of God, two men came along and disturbed it. That pig is out and all. Still a young man walking the streets. The man was convicted. He should have attempted murder. It's getting out of hand. These absolute pigs are weighing up the risk. And the risk is out. The risk of what they're doing doesn't outweigh the crime. They know if they get caught, even for murder, Adrian, for murder, there's a solicitor, I told you this before, standing up, another scumbag if you ask me, looking for every loophole in the law to get this scum off. They should be gassed. People need to wake up.
Firstly, we're never going to have a situation where people are going to be gassed. Secondly, I know exactly who you're talking about, and yes, that man is free. He doesn't really have a normal life. He is free, I agree. But what, you think somebody like this guy, Mark, the other day, took his chances?
He didn't take his chances, Adrian. He had this planned. This was planned. That girl wasn't snatched off the street. Just that guy took. I'm telling you now, that guy took that certain vehicle he was in, because the back of that opens easy. He could throw that girl into the back of that car nice and quick. He didn't take his own car. He had this planned. He was probably stalking that girl for a while. These guys are predators in people's area. And what I mean is, when the other fella we were talking about got locked up, he should have lost his liberty forever, Adrian. He should have died in jail. That's what's wrong with this place. And I told you before, these pigs, Adrian, even if they're caught for raping a girl or a child, they're put into Arbor Hill. They're not even put into the normal prison population, where the guy can have a pop with them. They're put in with other paedophiles and rapists and people of their ilk. They're being protected. They'll go to college in there, get everything. They free health care, everything.
Okay, but let me just go back to the point of the conversation, which is, is Ireland a safe place for women and girls right now? And
no,
according to that lady in the Star today, no, it's not. You agree with that?
No, it's not. I do agree with that, yeah.
Because of this one guy?
It's not. Adrian, see that one guy, for all we know now, serious, he's probably done it before, for all we know. We just don't know what's going on here. Look at all the missing women in this country over the last 20 years.
We may never know.
That guy, Adrian, that guy had that planned. You don't drive by a girl on the street and suddenly look at that girl and go, I know what I'll do. I'll just stop the car, get out now and drag her into the car. That was planned. And it went wrong for him because he was sane.
Why do you think that the streets are no longer safe for women? That's the bit I want to...
Because as I explained it to you, Adrian, it's no law and order. These people know that they can inflict degrading acts on women and children. And they know that really, if they're caught, what are they going to lose? Probably 8 to 10 years, Adrian, in their life. They'll get out with a new identity, start all over again. That was the guy you were talking about, Adrian. You said his life is ruined. I don't think his life is ruined.
No, that's not what I said. I said he doesn't have a normal life now. It's not like he just went to...
If he's living abroad, Adrian, he has. Because he's not known to people.
Well, okay, stay there for 1 second, Frank, if you can, please. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. And I want to hear from women who've experienced a situation where they felt unsafe. Have you ever been followed by a guy? Have you ever been made to feel unsafe? The reason we're asking this is an article in the Star newspaper today by Maura Hannon, and it was headlined, "Ireland is not safe for women." She says Ireland doesn't feel like a safe place for women and girls right now. That statement may sound like scaremongering, but we are living in scary times. If a carefree young woman can be snatched in broad daylight, wrote Maura, while walking along the road, then nowhere feels safe. And I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. If you've ever had an experience that made you feel unsafe, I would love to hear from you and hear your story. Or maybe you think that this is complete overreaction, that this attack and this kidnapping on Saturday was once in a blue moon, that something sick like that happens, and that there is no reason for women to feel unsafe. I'd love to hear from you. Now, Richie, you're on 98FM. How are you, Richie?
How you doing, Adrian?
Good, thanks. You believe this is all mass hysteria and paranoia?
Well, I know what I said in my text was I wouldn't like to see Ireland become full of paranoia and mass hysteria. I don't think it helps anybody, Adrian. Like, how many times has this happened before?
I've never heard of it happening before in that sort of way.
And listen, who in their right mind tries to abduct a girl at 6:15 on a sunny afternoon with everybody watching? There must have been something wrong with that chap. Like, he wasn't in his right state of mind or something, Adrian. Like, who do that in the middle of a village with people watching?
Yeah, I mean, we may never know, unfortunately, what state his mind was in.
Well, I'd like to just pass on my condolences and my respect to both of them families out there.
Absolutely, yes.
But it's a pretty sad fact that some women are feeling so unsafe nowadays.
Well, like I said, when I read a headline in a newspaper that says Ireland is not safe for women, you kind of think, oh, right, is that how people are starting to feel now? And that's what I want to find out. Is that how people, particularly women, feel now? And the question we're asking is Ireland not a safe place for women and girls? You don't believe that, do you not?
Not over one incident, Adrian. Now, I know it has been a bad week for women in general with the other girl last week as well, but...
Young Anna,
I think it was just coincidence that it happened together, you know, that type of way. But I'm seriously hoping that the country isn't turning into a psycho land, you know what I mean? Because we don't want that here. We certainly don't.
Would you allow a female member of your family to walk alone?
Well, before even this happened, I'd always tell girls to never to walk on their own anywhere.
But that's a sign. That surely is a sign that it isn't a safe country. It isn't a safe place. If that's the advice that you've given anyway, before any of this happened.
Well, that's true, I suppose, yeah. But do I think somebody's going to snatch another girl into a boot like what happened there on Friday? No, I don't think that's going to happen again.
Hope not. Okay, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Men are just as likely to be assaulted, hurt and killed as well, says that message. And then another one says, years ago, I wouldn't think twice about walking home from a nightclub or a pub, but now I wouldn't. I always get a taxi home. And is that how people feel? That you, particularly women, or maybe everybody? Maybe everybody feels that way. Call me right now on 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. Liz, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Liz?
Hiya, not too bad.
Liz, you think that this is this is ridiculous?
Yeah, I do. I just don't think the streets are any more dangerous now than they were before, like last weekend. It was all horrible what happened, and I feel awful for that girl and her family and all, but like, one incident doesn't make the streets any more dangerous than they've ever been. And I think writing articles like that the streets are not safe for women, I just think it's ridiculous. There are a lot of women out there who take that article to heart and literally won't go outside their doors unless they've somebody to walk down the garden pathway. I think I think it's scaremongering and it's ridiculous.
Okay, but I mean, we've had an horrific incident of a woman literally snatched in broad daylight.
It was horrific, but does that mean that women should completely stop walking around? People have to go to work. They have to live their lives. They have stuff to do. You can't have somebody with you 24/7. And I think writing articles like that saying, "Oh, the streets aren't safe for you." So what are women supposed to do? Lock themselves in their home unless there's somebody available to walk around with them?
And yeah, but some people do feel like that. I'm about to go to somebody in just a second. Won't walk anywhere alone.
But to me, that's ridiculous. Who doesn't, like, who has the time to even walk with somebody all the time? Do you know what I mean? Like, who even lives that way? That they need somebody beside them the whole time when they're going
But when
anywhere.
you hear stories, Liz, of a woman being bundled into the boot of a car, taken off, and subsequently murdered, that would terrify the living daylights out of anybody.
It would, it's awful what happened to her, but at the same time, it wouldn't trap me in my house. I have to go to work. I have a life to live. I can't live that life from behind the closed door of my home unless somebody is... And the thing is, will it be safe for two women to walk down the street, or do I need to wait for a man till a man is available to walk me somewhere? Do you know what I mean? Like, are we supposed to go nowhere? Is that what that article is saying, that women shouldn't go anywhere alone? Do you know what I mean? And if that's the case, should it be two women, or should we have a man with us? I think
you think for people to be living their life and changing their routine because of one incident is just insane?
Yeah, because I don't think that incident is horrific. I'm not trying to belittle what happened to that girl
No,
at
but
all.
you couldn't possibly.
Exactly, and that's not what I'm saying, but I just don't think that one incident should dramatically change your whole life, because it doesn't make the streets any more dangerous. If you're going to do that on the basis of that one incident, apparently the fella who done it has after being shot. So how are the streets more dangerous?
Okay, how are the streets more dangerous? Okay,
Incident.
stay there for 1 second, please, Liz. Our telephone number is 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. On the way after the break, I'm going to be talking to you, Sarah, because you will not walk anywhere alone.
I wouldn't go that far. Like, I wouldn't say I don't go anywhere alone, but I'd be a hell of a lot more wary.
Now, Mags, you're on 98FM. How are you, Mags?
Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Mags. How are you? Good, thank you. You will only go for a walk if it's with your dogs.
Yes, I will. Well, what you call it, I 100% agree with that chap, your first caller, because I was reading the paper on Sunday, okay, and there was an article, a chap that he put a camera in the staff area of our Lourdes Hospital here over in Dunleary, and and your man got a suspended sentence. Every time you put on the television, on the news, and you're checking, all these chaps, sex offenders, are getting little or no, the sentence are little or nothing.
I have to say, it's something I have never understood, the policy of suspended sentence. You either sentence somebody or you don't. I've never understood, somebody getting 3 years in jail but not having to go to jail.
Same with that young fella that downloaded all that porn as well. You know what I mean? The kids stuff.
And suspended sentences again. Do you think, Mags, and I was quoting from an article in one of the papers today, Ireland is not safe for women. Do you agree with that?
I do indeed, but I'm okay, because I'm a plus-size model, so I'm okay.
So that makes you feel safer, does it?
Yeah, it should. And I'm old as well. Nearly the same age as you, Adrian.
No, that's fairly old, yeah.
Yeah, we're ancient. And us brackers, keep together.
Okay, but you wouldn't walk on your own without the dogs?
No, not at all. Not at all. You don't know what's going to happen.
All right, stay there for 1 second. I just want to read out a message that came into us a couple of minutes ago, and it says the following. Adrian, I grew up with Mark Hennessy in Cromlech Fields in Ballybrack, and I'm in complete shock. Before this, I'd have told you he was the quietest man walking the streets of Dublin. A gentleman, even. When I heard he was shot, I still didn't believe he did it. Clearly, I'm not going to come on to defend him, because I'm not, in fairness, because that was sick. But as I said, before this happened, he was a gent who came from a really decent family. His parents are the salt of the earth. And I did say this the other day, that obviously our thoughts and prayers go out to that young lady, Jastine Valdez, but we also have to spare a thought for Hennessy's family as well. They clearly didn't know he had something like that in him. Clearly didn't. But his parents, his family, his partner, his children, none of them knew. And that's why I have to be honest, when I talk about this, I do obviously spare thoughts for the family of Jastine, for Jastine herself, but I also spare a thought for his family, because this is as much of a shock to them as it is to everybody. Now, where am I going now? Sorry, Max, just to go back to you. You wouldn't go out on your own. You don't feel safe. Do you think women take unnecessary risks?
Well, I think it's more the younger crowd, you know what I mean, younger than me. Like, I'm not as old as you, but however, and I'm older than Jeremy. But what you call it, it's the way they dress as well. And then, you know what I mean, and the fellas thinks it's okay, you know?
All right, stay there for 1 second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Sean, you believe that Ireland has become a very unsafe place, and you're somewhat unnerved by what happened to Jastine.
Hello?
Yes, Sean, go on.
Sorry, hi Adrian. I'm very, I'm devastated by what's happened in the last couple of days. I live in Dalkey, and it happened quite literally on my doorstep.
Oh wow!
And while I didn't know her at all, it's just it's hard hitting that it can literally happen on your doorstep.
It is. It does bring it much closer to home.
Yeah.
When something like that happens, it really does. Yeah.
Yeah. And my deepest condolences to the family of Jastine. I know yesterday you were talking about, the fact that Mark Hennessy was killed by the Gardaí, and I completely disagree with that, because I feel it doesn't solve everything. I mean, I believe he was a dangerous person, but the public need answers as to what his mental health was going through, what he was going through, and why he did it.
And sadly, though, because he's dead, Sean, we may never find out what was going on.
Yeah.
For all we know, in his home, he was leading a perfectly normal life and just went out on Saturday afternoon, never to be seen again.
And, it's all down to mental health, and you never know what's going through a person's mind. And I just want to send my condolences to all concerned. And I'm deeply shocked and saddened by it all. Earlier, my dad was driving through, going up our road. We live just down from Killiney Hill, and it was cordoned off. And it's just so sad to see this, to see it all happening, and the fact that she was distressed in Dalkey village. It's terrible.
It is terrible, I have to say, and it does bring it all back home. This is such rubbish, says this message. To say women have it worse is ridiculous. Way more men get killed than women in this country. Even when it comes to things like rape or sexual assault, everyone thinks it only happens to women. But it happens to men also, and we're afraid of being laughed at. I know I'm going off topic, but my point being that men don't have it easy either. So Erica will have to unwrap the bubble wrap she's lying in and get on with her life. This shouldn't be a gender issue. It happens to men all of the time. Adrian, if that woman didn't see the young girl being dragged into the boot of the car, we wouldn't have known a single thing, and he would still be in a position to commit more attacks. I agree with you. That shows actually the insanity of the whole thing, to be abducting somebody in broad daylight like that. Really just highlights it. I only said to my husband last week, is it safe for me to walk into Malahide Castle for my walk? Now I feel like I cannot walk there or on Griffith Avenue after I've put my kids to bed to get some time out and fitness. I feel this way also because the guards failed to act on the information they were given with the first phone call they got. That scares the living daylights out of me, that they got information on Saturday but did not look at it properly until, well, this person says Monday, but it was, Sunday. They acted on it they were all over it by Sunday. And I agree with Mark 100%. All pedos and rapists need to be hung. Liz is an idiot. Get her off the air. And I'm not going to read that one. Okay, all right. Thanks very much indeed for all of your calls, comments, texts and opinions. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM, the sound of the city.
98FM's Dublin Talks, weekdays from 10 a.m.
With Adrian Kennedy.